Team. Hey, here we are. We're on, everybody.
It's live.
It's time to play the theme. Boom. It's Church Chat with Pastors Dan and Dave. Come hang out with us on our stream. It's Church Chat Wednesday. Oh, there we are.
Welcome to Church Chat Wednesday. I am Pastor Dan.
And I'm Pastor Dave.
And we are coming to you live from the studios of
Jimmy's
Mr.
couch.
Jimmy Adkins over there. You've got a nice sweater on today.
I believe it's a cardigan.
Ooh. Is that a Taylor Swift cardigan?
My brother-in-law gave it to me.
And I dig the bun thing he's got going on.
He's really kind of... He's a good-looking guy over there.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie.
I'm hip. Super hip.
He is super hip.
Daddy-o.
We are glad to be together. Dave, you guys had a youth retreat this weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh, man, you finally get to do a thing.
But listen, here's our track record the last 2 years, which, I don't want to keep repeating some of it. First year that your daughter shows up.
Right.
Place burns down.
To the ground. Yeah, so could not go.
Next.
This was before you went, not while you were there. So Adelyn had nothing to do with it.
Well, then this year we get a
Global pandemic.
So we have to postpone it. And then we are there, and some weather came in, and some other people who aren't from Northeast Ohio
Thought it was
wimped out and went home. So I'm like, sorry, kids, but the retreat.
But you got to have some
leaving.
You got to have some retreat.
Our 2/3 of a retreat was pretty stinking awesome.
Awesome, and we're going to be talking with Adelyn and one of her friends, Skye, who's also on the retreat, and maybe Renee. I don't know. So Adelyn and Renee being sisters, hard to say if they'll let her in the room or not.
Yeah,
it's just kind of.
But here's the thing: the place we went is called Beulah Beach, and it is a Chautauqua community.
The Beulah Chautauqua.
Think about lakeside-ish. It'd be a great place for even an adult retreat.
That sounds cool. It sounded nice. Holly went as well. Said it was beautiful. Said it was a great time. So very excited.
She
you guys
complimented
got to do that.
our ministry very well.
So that was very cool. So while they were there, the news in our household, while they were there, I was home with Amelia, and we drove out to Worcester, Ohio, and brought back a golden retriever puppy and surprised the girls with
Dan
that.
caved.
I caved hard. And, so we got a little girl. Her name is Betty. Betty after Betty White, because she's a golden retriever and therefore a golden girl.
Golden girl. There you
go.
Yeah. Oh, and we haven't even brought that up either. I got a puppy.
Yes, you have a puppy. Not physically.
No, I got it 2 weeks ago. It's a Boston Terrier named Nick Chubb. We're going to call him Chubb. And he is...
For those out there who aren't Cleveland Browns fans, it's a running back for the Browns.
Yep. And he is now 4 weeks old. And so we're just waiting for him to be old enough to come home. So...
Well, good for you guys. What kind was it?
Boston Terrier.
Boston Terrier.
And it's mine. Heidi has disassociated herself with the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, we don't need to get into marital strife on the air here, but man, is she okay? Like the dog is coming to the doghouse. Are you also going to the doghouse?
Here's how you swing this. If you want a cat or a puppy, this is how you swing this. Can I have a puppy? Can I have a puppy? Can I have a puppy? Please, can I have a puppy?
So you do this as like a 4-year-old?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Works.
That's essentially what you have done there.
Yeah.
So James, what kind of puppy are you guys about to get?
Perhaps a Mastiff. I don't know.
Ooh.
Maybe we'll get a big dog.
Are you really getting a dog? I was joking.
No, we're not getting a dog. Come on, man.
What? No, why not?
I don't know. We got 2 cats. I don't know. If we get something, it'd have to be young enough that it won't eat the cats.
Mm.
That's fair.
But then, other than that, I'm not really sure.
Our cat's one cat, the older one, Belle. She's basically just in hiding. Although she's smart, she hides. She goes to the basement, climbs up on top of the heating ductwork, which I imagine is very comfy and warm, away from the dogs, away from the kids. Very happy.
It's like a cat sauna.
Yeah, Teddy, the other one, or Scout, not Teddy. We had a cat named Teddy. It's not with us anymore. Scout, Scout. He can hold his own. He's not afraid, and just bats him around. So anyway, last week we had the bishop on.
You know, out of all of our guests that we've had, we probably tried for him the hardest.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, I was the most excited.
Yeah, it was really cool to have him fight. Yeah, because we had been kind of working at that for a while. His schedule, like you probably know that in 10 minutes he's got his own thing that he's doing.
Yeah.
So we'll watch our numbers just plummet at that point in time. But he does a weekly prayer at 12:15 on Wednesdays on the West Ohio Conference Facebook page. Both things are archived. You can watch both. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it was really cool to be able to have him. Got on a little bit earlier. If you haven't seen that yet, check that out. I went through a couple weeks ago and archived all of our older shows on YouTube with the dates and the guests and stuff like that. I nerded out on that. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
So, how many episodes do you think we've done so far?
Well, has it been 50?
Not quite. We're in the upper 30s somewhere.
Okay.
Today might actually be 40.
Excellent.
Somewhere around there. So, anyway, yeah, I thought that was kind of fun. All right, so let's go ahead, and whenever Adelyn is ready, we can go ahead and call them in. Was she already on? I forget. I don't remember what I told her to do. But
yeah, we'll get her on. Just give me 1 minute.
All right, no problem. But yeah, so we'll talk with them a little bit about the retreat, and then I have, and I prompted you with it a little bit earlier. We've got a great topic for discussion today, I think.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I told the girls to be ready for this.
Oh, did you? Did you
Yeah.
let them know what it was going to be? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Well, I'll just go ahead and tease it then. We're talking about, is the church, essential? Is it essential? And not just in terms of like essential COVID-wise, but is the church essential? So I'll be interested to kind of see how that discussion goes and everything. So, by the way, while we're waiting for them, they've been home and
Now they're sideways. Oh my gosh.
they've been home, and the thing is, like, I was so excited last week. Everybody's going back to school. Now we've had 2 snow days, and today's a do school from home day. So
Yeah. So
right.
they're always there. So
You ready for our guests?
I'm ready.
Through the magic of the TV, here they are. Boom. Right in the middle.
Well, hello, Adelyn and Skye. How are you?
Fabulous.
This is Pastor Dan and Pastor Dave.
In case you
Welcome
don't know
to
us.
Church Chat. Are you excited to be here?
Good to be here. So excited.
I'm pleased to see. I can tell that you're not still in your bed. So you've actually come downstairs to the land of the living. So congratulations. It's barely noon and you're already out of bed. Good job.
good job.
So how did you enjoy the retreat this last weekend?
It was very fun, but it did get cut short, so we missed a whole day. But while we were there, it was very fun.
So because it was cut short, and according to Skye, I hurt your feelings. How did we make that up?
We got ice cream.
There you go. She
You got-
asked. She said, "Hey, can we have ice cream since you hurt our feelings?"
So you stopped at Tietz's.
Yeah.
As you do. So what was kind of I've heard a little bit about it, but can you guys talk about like what was kind of the theme, or what was some of the teaching and stuff around? I assume it wasn't just all games and stuff, that there was some sort of lessons and things.
Yeah, so it was the ultimate pursuit was the theme of it. And it was just the speaker that was there talking, he was saying like Jesus is the ultimate pursuit, and the lessons were around that, just talking about how we need to make Jesus the center of our lives. And I think that it was really good for especially a lot of the people in youth group that don't come to church, usually like the actual church services. I think it was like, for a lot of them, the first time they've ever heard that message. And I think that was a really cool thing.
So you have because a lot of the youth are like somewhat newer to church. Right?
Yeah, I basically asked how many of you have, you went to church before Adelyn brought you to youth group. Mm-hmm. 4 of them raised their hand.
Yeah, out of what were there, like
16
or so.
Yeah, and you had to have a Bible. Mm-hmm. I gave away 8 of them. So
awesome. And those Bibles were autographed by me. So I mean, those are pretty.
And me.
Oh yeah, so that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. So a lot of them are very new to their faith.
Yeah. Cool. What was your favorite part for both of you? What was your favorite part of the trip?
I like doing worship the best.
Mine was probably, we played 9 in the Skye, and it was getting very intense. It was like, it's like Foursquare, but 9, and then in the Skye, and we were getting very competitive.
It's just cool that you guys were able to actually do something together with friends and everything. I was glad to see that. So, all right, Dave, did you prompt them? You prompted them with a question, right?
Yeah, 2 questions. Right?
Sure.
And number 1 was, why is the church important? I think I said, did I say essential or important?
Hello, Adelyn.
Wait, what was the first question?
Oh my goodness.
Why is the church important? And number 2, okay. Why are things like retreats important?
Okay, I think the church is important because, especially for the youth group, I think having the youth come to church, like the actual church services, has been a game changer because, like I said before, it's the first time a lot of my friends and a lot of people in youth group have actually heard a message, because a lot of them haven't gone to church before. This is their first time. And I think, the dog's at the door. I think, I think it's really cool because, like, a few of them have even said to me, like, thank you for, like, bringing us here, because, like, it's been a game changer for me. And I think it's just really cool to hear that from them.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Skye, anything to add?
About retreats, I think those are important because, like, for people that don't go to church every week or, like, can't get there or whatever reason they don't go, it's, like, usually they're, like, longer, but, like, a week long or a weekend of just focusing on your faith. And I don't know, I feel like that's really meaningful to some people.
Very cool. I can hear the new puppy barking in the background. Adelyn.
Yeah, they're outside.
Adelyn, go get Betty. Everybody wants to see Betty.
I think Dan wants to see Betty.
So we went sledding a couple of days ago. It was on Sunday, I guess. And went to the reservoir, and Holly took a picture of me going down in a sled with the puppy on my lap, and I have like this big goofy smile on my face. I'm like, this is killing my street cred. Just absolutely killing
We know you love.
So, yep, there she is. There she is. So, cool. Well, girls, anything else that you want to add about just youth retreat or youth group, or how awesome your youth pastor is?
Yes, Dave's all right, I guess. He does buy us ice cream a lot, so.
So that is a good thing.
So I get to hang.
All right. Well, cool. Thank you guys for taking some time to come on and share all that stuff. And go get your homework done.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Got it.
Those girls crack me up.
Yep. Skye is always a bundle of words, isn't she? I will say this about Skye, though. When she does speak, sometimes it is the funniest thing. Like, it's these low-key digs that most everybody else it's going right under their radar.
So, well, no, I was glad, and I am proud of the way that they've both, been inviting, friends who weren't necessarily always part of church or had church in their lives to come and be a part of things. And it's a difficult time to invite people to stuff because there's not even a ton of things that they're able to do. But you guys are starting up youth, like, that was kind of your kickoff, and now there's going to be more youth stuff.
And put it this way, this is how important this is. I really didn't think we were going to have a youth group this year. Mm-hmm. We have just a couple freshmen, just a smattering of middle schoolers, and a lot of our high schoolers are upperclassmen. Mm-hmm. And there's only a few, which upperclassmen are hard to keep around anyway.
Sure.
Because they work.
They've got other things going on.
Girlfriends and the whole deal. So it's tough to get them to stick. They're definitely not going to stick if their friends aren't there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So then I'm thinking, man, we're going to have 3 or 4 kids. Mm-hmm. This is going to be rough. As it turns out, we have usually over 20. Mm-hmm. And that is in part, not in part, mainly because they're so invitational.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, could you imagine if the adults in our church are... This is the way I put it to the kids, is I'm now 52 years old. No kid in their right mind is coming here to see me.
That is true.
But they're coming here to see you and you and you and you.
Right.
And if somebody is not here... and you have not asked them to be here, it's partially your fault. Mm-hmm. So, and every couple of years we have a youth group that will take that to heart. Mm-hmm. And my son, his year, that was 2017, they graduated. Very invitational, huge. I mean, that's when our youth group was probably at its largest. 60, 70 kids. And it was all because they wanted to see their friends there.
Yep. Come and hang out. It's the thing you're going to do.
Yep. So Adelyn has rose to the challenge. Kudos to her. She must have been raised okay.
She's got a good mom. She has a good mom.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So we asked them the question, and this is something, and I'll just be very honest. Some of this is stuff that I've been working on for this Sunday sermon. Because we're going through this series where we're talking about the Apostles' Creed. And this week we're at the week of, I believe, in the church, and I believe in the communion of the saints not being Catholic saints, but the saints, followers of Jesus. So we say that in the creed and all of that. I go back to the beginning of the pandemic time where things were beginning to shut down, and this term was... I don't know if it was created or at least came into popularity of essential workers and essential businesses. And so we knew kind of right away what some of those things were. Got to have some people working at the hospitals. Got to have your grocery stores, right? Like those are going to be essential things. And then we started adding more and more things to this list of who's essential and who's not. And let's be honest, nobody wants to hear you're not essential. Yeah. You don't matter, right? Like we can totally do without you. But the question, of course, ends up coming around to the church. And are churches essential? Do churches need to be there, open, whatever? And I think really that conversation pretty much got shut down. There's some places where they said, no, we don't want churches to open. But for the most part, in a lot of places, that conversation was pretty much shut down by people saying, sorry, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, you can't shut that down. And so for the most part, the churches have been policing themselves, or their denominations have been kind of giving them the structures and the guidelines and stuff like that. But beyond all of that piece of it, to me, it really brings to mind the question, are churches actually, by the definition of the word, essential? are we essential to our communities? Are we essential to ourselves, like for individuals? And I think our flippant response would be yes, absolutely. At least ours would be, because, like, again, we don't want to think we're not essential, right? But is it essential that the church exists? It's just been kind of what's been on my mind. So I don't know. Do you have any?
Well, a couple things. We got in this talk this weekend, and we were talking about someone in my family. I'm not going to bring up who it is, but where we went down the road of injustices that the church has done over the years, and but I think you would make the argument that and I agree, the church has done far more good.
I would.
So this is what I'm going to say is, if the church is done right, it's essential.
Okay.
Because number one, we need each other, and there is there are voids in the community that the church can fill. I think of Homework Central for many years. Central Church of Christ helped at-risk kids with their homework for years.
And that was for a time in a space. That
and
was
I think
essential.
of some of the roles that St. Mark's has played in our community, and an essential part of our community. At one point, we had a fifth quarter where we'd have, I think the most we ever had was 350 kids every single Friday. And what void did that fill? Well, it filled the void of, I can't tell you how many parents would say, for middle schoolers, there's not a whole lot to do on a Friday night. This is something great that keeps them out of trouble. And so I think that ebbs and flows. I mean, for us, for example, fifth quarter just got too unmanageable. It just way too unmanageable. So we walked away from that. But there have been other roles that we have filled as a church, even as temporary as a couple days. I think of when we were the police station during the flood. So that essentialness change. I mean, you have to keep reinventing it. So I think of the times when it meets community needs, but I also individual needs. I mean, I look at this weekend, we had a group of kids who, Skye and Adelyn are church kids. They're PKs, actually. And so words like salvation and Holy Spirit and those things, I mean, they've been hearing that their whole life, right?
They've heard that.
We've got a whole group of kids that went with us to this thing who are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just so far over their heads that actually toward the end, what we ended up doing was, during that time of worship, separating from the rest of the other church that was there,
right,
so that we could break it down for kids who have never been to church at their level. So what I'm saying is, if we're doing what we should do in the right way, we should be also be able to meet people where they're at.
Yes.
And when we're meeting people, this is the church trap. When we're meeting people where they're at, pushing them to go farther, because we have a tendency, the older we get in church, to get to a certain point and not only retire from work and life, but retire from church. And I am here. I've put my time in. I'm here at church because that's what I do. But I'm staying where I'm at. I look at Lowell and Vera Mae Nelson, who were 89 years old, at our church. And the summer before she passed away, they spent an entire summer on the Amazon River on a banana boat preaching the gospel. Like everywhere they went, they would stop and preach the gospel. I mean, never retired, never stopped going for it. So I think it's essential in those parameters. Can a church be non-essential? Absolutely.
And I think that's, I love the way you just described that, because that's how I've been kind of wrestling with it. It's like, can a church, like a church building, what we think of as a church, this building with this name, can a church be non-essential? Probably, if they stop doing those things. I think what makes a church essential is are people coming into and deepening a relationship with Jesus Christ at that place. I mean, that's the essential service that we offer. If we ain't doing that, then it's probably not essential that you exist anymore, and probably go away, and make space for others. I think also then the question gets begged, even for churches that are, I would consider, essential, and by your definition, there are things we are doing within St. Mark's that I think put us in that category. Not always. I think there's times where we miss the mark, where we do things that maybe that didn't need to necessarily happen, or
that's just called life.
That's just life. But also, individuals within the church you've got to invest in it, and not just, like you were saying, kind of retire from it and just hang out there, but actually participate in the life of the church for it to be essential for your life. We can't force that to be true in your life. You have to make the decision of, you know what, I want to deepen my relationship with Jesus. I want to go deeper in this sort of thing. I want to bring other people to come to know Jesus. And so I'm going to, move into that. I talked last week about spiritual gifts and figuring out what are your spiritual gifts. Because I think I believe every Christian has a ministry and has a mission, and your ministry is within the church and your mission is outside the walls of the church. We've all got those things that we are called to do. Are we all doing them?
Right.
Like, are we all participating in some way in advancing the kingdom of God? That doesn't always mean getting on a banana boat in the Amazon River when you're 90 years old, but it might. It might.
Exactly.
It might be, I bake cookies for, Kairos Ministries in jail, for these guys who are, to show them some hospitality. It might mean something else, something much more, kind of behind the scenes, but we all are called to do something in some way to make it.
That could be a temporary thing too.
Sure.
I think of what the words of what the bishop was saying last week, and basically, I'm not sure that he phrased it this way, but are you going to thrive or survive? Because there's a difference.
Yeah.
And surviving is getting by. Surviving is the mindset. I'm coming to church, and the sermon better be good, and it better be enough to get me through the week, and I'll see you next week. Mm-hmm. That's surviving. Thriving is, where is my place?
Yeah.
And knowing that has to adapt all the time. Mm-hmm. Like I said, St. Mark's over the years has filled different roles. And so you just have to keep looking for, okay, the season has ended on that. For whatever reason, that season is over. Right. What's coming around the corner? And not just get stuck on the golden calves of the glory days. Like, oh, I remember. Okay, but that's gone. So what's next?
Yeah.
And what's next might be a season of praying and being and adjusting. Mm-hmm. But you have to be able to keep moving on. I just thought of this. And this was an example that I've used on our kids' the term I hate the most is it's kind of one of those cliches like make it pop, is comfort zone.
Comfort zone.
I hate that term, and I will tell you.
It's right up there with relevant for me.
Yeah. And so when we were in Washington, D.C., it was so hot. We were on a mission trip. It was so hot. And there was an older guy that we got on the bus with. We was kind of like a trolley bus thing. And I said, hey, what are you doing? He just said, well, I'm going to ride this iron pony all day long. And I was like, oh, really? That's kind of weird. But we got to talking, and for him, he was spending his $2 so that he could be in comfort with the air conditioning all day. And so, like I tried to explain to the kids, that's a comfort zone. That man went in to seek temporary shelter to get comfortable, but he knew he had to get off that bus at some point.
Right.
So it's a comfort zone is that time where you're taking temporary shelter or comfort or rest, but you have to get off of that. But you have to move out of that zone at some point. So if you remain in that comfort zone, it really becomes a complacency zone.
Yeah. And I wonder if all of that ties into the fact that we stay in that complacency zone. And I think that so many of us, this isn't just a youth thing. This is probably more so an adult thing.
Right. A pastor thing. It can be.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it was very evident to me, going back to the whole question of what's essential and what's not, that question needs to be asked, I think, is an indictment on the church. That we have not so ingrained ourselves, not just in offering social services or whatever, although that is a part of what the church is meant to be, is that we are people that take care of the poor and those who are in need, and whatever needs happen to be present in your community. That's part of where the church is meant to be, where there's brokenness. That's where we're supposed to be, speaking into that brokenness because we're servants of Christ, and that's what we do. But also just our unwillingness to, to share the gospel or whatever it might be, to be those people that invite other people in to show them what life change through Jesus looks like. Like, it should be so evident. This is probably a utopian pastor idea, but it should be so evident that life change happens through Jesus Christ that churches can't help but be seen as essential. Like, because the people that are coming in and out of there are just so radically transformed that the community as a whole recognize, man, we sure need churches because good folks are coming from there, and people who have their head on straight, and people who are figuring out, how to live fulfilled lives are coming out of there. And we need that in our community and in our world. And again, it's probably just my own, rose-colored glasses view of what I hope the world could be or whatever. But like, I guess I'm still, naive enough to believe that Jesus really can do that through the church. So I would hope that we are, because that's what makes us essential. What makes us essential is not ever going to be just how, as much as our musicians are wonderful, how great our worship services are, or even the importance of socialization. Like, socialization is a good thing. We need one another, all that stuff. But y'all can go hang out at each other's house
Yeah.
or something like that. If that's really why churches are essential. That's not why churches are essential. Churches are essential, should be essential, because that's where life change happens through Jesus Christ. And if that's not happening, then no, we're not. And, and I'll preach on this week, and I don't want to steal too much of my own thunder, but, but I still believe in the church.
I do too.
Like that's a part of, we say that in the Apostles' Creed. I believe in the church.
Yep.
And I believe in the fact that this is, I've said this over and over again, I believe that the local church is God's plan of sharing hope and salvation through Jesus Christ for the world. And I don't think there's a plan B. I think this is it. And that's what we are called to do.
And it's my hope that when we say we believe in the church, and even when we ask the question, is church essential, that our fellow worshipers at St. Mark's realize that means us. Mm-hmm. We are the church. Mm-hmm. So as Joe Pewsitter, we often think of the church as this nebulous thing. It's an institution. No, it's us. Mm-hmm. And I hope we all realize that. It's us as pastors, as staff, as congregation members, as lay leaders. It's all of us.
I just still have the audacity to believe that Jesus can change lives, that it happens through the church and through people having changed lives in the church, that improves the community, the world as a whole. Like, I believe that, and so I have to sometimes remind myself that not everybody buys it, and so that's a part of what I try to do every week is just kind of say, here's why I believe this, why I believe that this not only can make your life better, but it makes the world better, and not just makes it better, but makes it a little bit closer to heaven on earth. Because that's really the call, is to bring more of that presence of God here on earth. And so, I don't know, I'm hopeful for it. It's just been what's been on my mind this week.
We've come a long way from talking about chickens.
It's true. We used to just sit here and talk about chickens.
Yeah.
Brought y'all some eggs. If anybody else needs eggs, let me know. I've got eggs. So you just give me a shout. Let me know. But that was a lot. That was a lot. We got deep. We got theological. We got philosophical.
Sharon gave you guys one of these.
Sharon did. All right.
Sharon Fisher.
Thanks, Sharon.
So, all right. Announcements. Things to let you guys know about. Again, kind of doing the same thing church-wise that we've been doing. We will have 9 o'clock traditional, 11:15 contemporary. Adult Sunday school, I think, has taken a little bit of a hiatus at this point in time, just because it's kind of hard to. I know Chuck Bishop's not around to teach his class, and it's just hard for some people to get in yet. So, but
I think that class is meeting.
They were, but I don't think anybody's teaching it right now.
Okay.
So, we'll let you know. But yeah, 9 o'clock and 11:15. Kids Sunday school still at 10 o'clock.
Youth group starts this week.
Youth group starts this week. What time and where?
3:30 in the dock, and we are going to have a Super Bowl party. We're really pre-gaming.
Yeah,
because
you're going to leave before the Super Bowl because you want to watch it without them.
Well, and I find that kids don't watch it anyway.
They don't care.
They whip balls at each other and
yeah,
stuff.
They don't care.
So we are going to have a party with some pizza and
cool
9 square in the air and all that stuff.
Awesome.
3:30 to 5 on Sunday. Don't forget to bring some canned goods because we have been doing
the Super Bowl
of caring.
And so,
and it's adults versus kids.
Right. What are the rules?
You get a point for every can of soup that you bring in. So if I'm a kid, I put it in the youth bin, and for every can of SpaghettiOs I bring in, and I put it in mine, I get 2 points instead of 1. And for every chicken noodle that I put in the adult bin, the opposing team's bin, they get -1.
Okay, so I was confused on those rules because I've seen it -1 and I've seen it -2 written down.
Oh, well, whichever one. I have on which one. Whichever one I sent in the email. That's
all right.
one.
I've just seen it written down both ways. I didn't know which one it was.
Yeah, I could have. But here's the important thing. I think when you come in, Linda Barclay, who did a fantabulous job.
Yeah, it looks
has
cool.
All the rules and everything up anyway. But
whatever it says on there.
Yeah, the whole thing was just to try and get some extra chicken noodle soup and SpaghettiOs.
Right.
Because little kids like that.
Yeah.
And
so here's the deal. Adults who are watching, we need to put these teenagers in their place. Please bring in a lot of things this Sunday and put them in the bins so that we can. What I would really love is if we just brought in a ton of chicken noodle soup and the teens end up in the negatives.
Yeah.
Like just really demoralize them is what I'm hoping for.
Well, and here's the thing for all of this is when we're all said and done after Sunday, this is really just going all toward the scouting for food, which they do in March, right? And it's all going to them, and they'll further the collection.
Awesome, good deal. And then check out Corinne will have I believe a video for Spark Kids. Couldn't think of the name for a second there. And then also we're coming up before too long. We're in February now. February 17th we'll have an Ash Wednesday service, so hopefully you'll show up for that. 7 o'clock at the church, and we'll have ashes for you in some sort of unique and socially distanced way, because we just reinvent everything now, and it's so much fun to be creative.
Did you say you got your pool cue ready?
I got my pool cue. I'm just going to hit you with the pool cue from afar, or sprinkle you with ashes from the balcony. I could do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be kind of fun. Just rain them down.
I don't think Jerome or Ed would think it's fun, though.
They probably wouldn't.
No.
They probably wouldn't. Yeah.
What's all this black stuff everywhere?
So, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in with us today. Glad that you were here, and I hope that you all stay warm. And it's going to be cold this weekend, but stay warm, and hope to see you at church or online. We will also still have the 11:15 service broadcast live online on YouTube and on Facebook. So, James, are you ready to play us out?
I am.
All right.
I don't have anything clever.
Ooh, is that I've seen this. Is that a guitar?
Yes.
All right.
As the Italians,
I'm learning.
As the Italians would say.
All right, everybody, take care. Here is our theme song to play us out.
If I wait here, it makes it seem like you said it too early.
What's that? Oh, if I wait, yeah. There you go.
It's Church Chat with Pastors Dan and Dave. Come hang out with us on our stream. It's Church Chat Wednesday.
See you later.